I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And I have some cool examples too that I'm going to be sharing with this. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. This is the logo that I wanted to use for the page, but I was talking to Bon. Carrie, you know Bon.
Yeah. Oh, I like that logo though.
I love it, but is copywriting. The other kind of copyright, because it's from the Up movie. But
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that. I'm like, it reminds me from the Up movie.
that was the vibe I was going for. But yeah, I did have it up for like a little unintended. I had it up for like a day, I think, and then I changed it. I like the one that it is now. Maybe I'll show that at the end. But anyways, see if this Google. There we go. Okay, so today I'm going to be covering what copywriting is, just the basics, the fundamentals, who needs copywriting, how to write good copy, how I got my first copywriting client. I'm going to walk through that whole story of like how that happened, and then how you can start making money in the next 30 days using this either applied to an existing business or using a skill or like applying it to a job. It literally applies to everything. So it's weird that it doesn't let me do the arrows. Okay. So I can guarantee you that if you learn this skill, you will never go broke. It's like the same as the skill of sales, because essentially that's what this is. And if you can learn this skill, you will always be able to market something and you will never be without an opportunity, whether it's a job or a business. You could use it for either. All right. So if you're new to entrepreneurship and you're looking to monetize this skill, this will help you because I'm showing you how you can make your first $1,000 with this skill, how to attain and apply that skill, because you have to actually have the skill to make money with it, and then how to make the connections needed to pay you the money so that the skill is profitable. All right. And then if you already own a business, this applies to you, Carrie. I'm going to help you increase your margins, make more money with the exact same products, make better margins, and then build a brand that you actually love. So, all right, getting started. We all get tons of marketing thrown at us every day. Sales emails, letters, in the mail, ads. Every social media app is filled with ads. You watch a YouTube video, ads. Everything you see has like everywhere you look in, even in your room, like you're looking at a book or whatever, everything, there's copywriting on it. All right. So you probably write most of those things off because you see so much of it. You're seeing it everywhere and you have these mental blocks that you don't even consciously realize you're looking at an ad. You just automatically write it off. Like if you log onto a website, you're not looking at the banners on top. Like those ads used to be really effective like 20 years ago. People like subconsciously now just block those things off because they see them so often. So we consciously write most of those things off. And this workshop is going to change how you see every single one of those ads for the rest of your life. You're never going to be able to look at a sales email the same. You're never going to look at an ad the same. It's going to change literally your perception of every ad you see for the rest of your life. All right. So you probably know what I'm referencing, copywriting. I call it copy because it's easier. So whether your business does 30K a month or it's not even off the ground, brand new, you're just learning, you're just here to learn, you need copywriting. It applies to everything. Like I said, no modern business in the world sells without copywriting. 99% of ads have copywriting of some kind in them, and people pay for attention, and copywriting is what allows you to get that attention. All right. These are the two ways I use copywriting. So I actually apply it to my own business, and then I also apply it to other people's businesses. So I monetize the actual skill of copywriting. That's actually where I make a good chunk of my money. And then I apply it to my own business, obviously, to market my own products. You can make a lot of money doing either. I know people that literally are making like hundreds of thousands of dollars a month just monetizing the skill. And I mean, you can range from like $3,000 a month to probably like $200,000-$300,000, depending on how you're monetizing it. There is a cap though, if you're working for other people. Whereas if you start monetizing your own, or you start using copywriting for your own product, there's really no ceiling. So it's kind of it's a good place to start. But if you do want to really like have no ceiling, you got to have your own business. Okay. So copywriting is the art of professional persuasion. That's all. You're literally just persuading people to buy a product online or on paper or wherever that text is seen. It's just a written form of persuasion. All right. So let's go to the basics of how you actually get somebody to give you their money. So this applies to how you write copy, but then also how you market it. right? So let's say you became a copywriter, then you would have to actually be using copywriting to market your copywriting. So it gets kind of confusing, but essentially to get someone to give you their money, you have to use the language of persuasion, not like a car salesman. Like persuasion is actually a good thing if you use it properly. It's just translating the value of your product into dollars in the mind of the buyer. So if you show people that whatever you're offering, if it's a service or a product, is more valuable than the money in their pocket or the money in their bank account, they will buy it. It's that simple. You just have to take an iPhone and show them all the reasons it's going to make their life better. And in their head, that translates to, oh, this is worth more than $1,200 sitting in my bank account. But you can't actually sell anyone anything. You just show them the value of something and they make the decision to buy it or not. So it's really just about how you articulate that value. Okay, so to do this, you can use stories, you can use examples, statistics, guarantees. There's really unlimited ways you can do that. It's like every person uses a different strategy. It depends what you're marketing. But using these tools, the objective is to make the reader feel seen, understood, and then that's how they will know that the solution you offer works for them. So let me break that down in like a real life example. If you're writing someone an email on why they should buy a course, let's say, you have to make them feel like you understand all the struggles that they're going through by laying it out, and then make them feel like you know like the solution better than they could. You know the problem. If you know the problem better than they know it, then they're going to assume you know the solution better than they know it. So it's all about how you articulate their problem. Make sure that they feel seen and understood. And then when you present the solution, they're going to be like, oh yeah, obviously, like this person understands me. So obviously their solution is going to work. You can make a fantastic product. There's a lot of examples of this, but if nobody knows about it, guess what happens? They're not going to buy it. Just like there's a million products out there. I was just looking at this really, really cool phone. I forget what it's called. It's like, I forget. It's like, I think I wrote it down. It's like, starts with a K. It's like some Asian brand. And it has way better features than an iPhone, but I'd never heard of it. And nobody else has either because their marketing sucks. And
Is that the one that you mentioned on,
what was that?
is that the one that you had mentioned online today, like Coyote or whatever it was called?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
That brand that nobody's ever heard of. Because yeah, I mean, you look at Apple. The reason why Apple is successful is not because they have the best phones. They have good phones. But the reason they're successful is because they've created this cult-like following with their marketing, their branding. They've created a brand that's so distinguishable from every other phone that people just buy it because it's Apple. So persuasion is a good thing. It is associated with people like a lot of people hear persuasion and they think like manipulation. That's using persuasion because persuasion is a tool for something bad. So saying persuasion is bad is like saying money is bad. It just depends on who's using it and what you're using it for. So persuasion is a good thing if it's used for good things. You guys were persuaded to come on this call. So you deemed this hour of time best spent here when you could be, watching TV, eating a meal, or at a party. Persuasion is just some type of communicated value where that product or that time spent is deemed more valuable than whatever the alternative is. Okay, so what makes something valuable? Apple, great example. You didn't have to really be like convinced to buy a phone. Like we were just talking about it. Like you bought a phone because you just like know it's the best. Like you're just like, what else would I buy? Like they don't have to get on a call and convince you and show you the specs and stuff. Like it's on their website. It's all laid out. But like really, people aren't doing that much research before they buy an iPhone. So that's why they're successful. Okay. Kinds of copywriting. So now let's actually break it down into how you can apply this into different kinds of copywriting because there's probably a lot more kinds than you even think. Emails is like the most common kind of copywriting. Copywriters usually default to emails when they're starting out. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, any kind of content, the scripts, that's a kind of copywriting. So lots of copywriters write the script for a YouTube video. Most of the famous YouTubers and Instagrammers and any social media influencer you see, their scripts are written by a copywriter. Social media captions, titles, and thumbnails, those are all written by copywriters, whether it's the influencer themselves and they don't realize it, they're a copywriter, or a lot of influencers actually hire people to write those captions, write those titles. There's actually a guy in the group who creates the thumbnails and writes the titles for YouTube videos, and he is wildly successful. And then sales pages, that's another kind of copywriting. Like if you ever click on something, it takes you to a page to buy a product, that everything on that page is copywriting. School is a great example. You go to an about page on school or a post on school, that is copywriting. Like Carrie, you're very familiar with Goose posts a ton, and he always adds value with his copywriting, but it is copywriting because he has a product to offer everyone on school. And so there is like, even though it's indirect, there is something that he offers to them. So another example, FAQs, books. I've ghostwritten books for people, ghostwritten FAQs. So those are other kinds of copywriting. Now getting into the keys of copywriting. This is where we go into what actually makes copywriting good and how to actually write well. Beliefs are the fundamental like building blocks that you have to work with when you're trying to convince somebody of something, because everything that somebody does is based on a belief. Like, for example, you guys getting on this call, you believed your Wi-Fi was going to work. You believed your phone was going to work. Anytime you get in your car, you believe your car is going to start. Everything is based on a belief, no matter how fundamental it is. So copywriting is trying to address, use, and potentially change people's beliefs. I had the belief that I could learn how to grow a profitable business when I invested $2,000 into a business course. And it was because I believed that I could make that $2,000 back. So anytime you take any action on anything, it's built on a belief. So this is the framework. Anytime you're trying to catch someone's attention, that's called a hook. It grabs their attention, whether it's an Instagram post, whether it's an email, whatever it is. If you're clicking on it, it's because it's somehow grabbed your attention and you deem that more valuable than whatever else you're looking at. So like if you're scrolling through your emails, majority of them are probably not going to get opened. If you're like me, you're like delete, 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 delete. But then there's that one or two emails that like you actually click on it and occasionally you might actually buy something from an email. That's good copywriting. So when you see an email and you're like, wait, I actually kind of want to read that, you should save it because that's really good copywriting. In like this huge pool of emails that you probably get, one of them stood out. So I read my emails now when I get a marketing email because I'm like, oh, like what are they using? Like this caught my attention. I'm going to steal that or tweak that hook and use that in my own. So you're hooking an audience, building their intrigue, making them interested in whatever it is that you're talking about or offering them, and then persuading them to actually take action on that interest. This is a value equation. Alex Hormozi is the guy who invented this kind of mathematical equation for actually selling someone on something. So their dream outcome, let's say fitness as an example, if you're a bot like a fitness coach online or something, dream outcome, they want to be fit. Perceived likelihood of achievement, so you're multiplying those two factors. Their dream outcome has to be really good and they have to really believe that they can achieve it. Carrie, let's say you were selling a fitness supplement and you told them this is going to 10x your energy. Okay, good. You have a great dream outcome here. Now you have to somehow make them really believe that that is going to happen. You can be like, I used this yesterday and I got 10 times more work done than I've ever done. You know, that's a really cliche example, but like you could say, I used this yesterday and I lifted twice my PR, something crazy. Now they're like, okay, I really believe this is going to happen. It happened for her. So their dream outcome's there, perceived likelihood of achievement is there. And you can be like, and it worked within 5 minutes of me taking it. Now you've eliminated the time delay and you can be like, and all you have to do is dump it in your water, shake it up, and you're ready to go. Now the effort and sacrifice is eliminated. The value is very high for that product. So you can now charge a lot more for that. Okay. So there's templates. If you're writing an email, there's a template to actually follow. This applies to a lot of things. Like if you're writing a caption or you're writing a text message or whatever it is, DIC is one template, PAS is one template, HSO. There's a lot of templates in copywriting, but you'll see a lot of them, they have a similar structure where you're grabbing their attention, you're building that attention or building the emotion, and then you're presenting them with an offer or some kind of a solution. The objective with any copywriting template should be to spark their curiosity, make a client aware of the problem, present a solution, and or add value. You want to add value in every piece of copywriting in some way, because if your copywriting is not valuable, then you're not really building a good brand. You want to be adding value. Like Alex Hormozi is the king of this. Just like add value to the point that people want to buy from you because they feel like that reciprocity towards you. All right. So how do you do this? How do you keep people engaged? Well, every sentence should have them wanting to read the next. Because if you have a really good hook, that's great, but that's just going to get them to read the first sentence of your email. Or if you have a really good thumbnail or you have a really good Instagram post or something, that's just going to get them to read the first sentence or watch the first 2 seconds. So every sentence has to lead to the next. That first sentence has to be really good too. Subject gets them to read the preview text, which gets them to open the email, which gets them to read the first sentence, which gets them to read the next, so on, until they finally click your link and actually buy your product. Everything has to lead to that. There has to be anticipation and there has to be curiosity. So you can do that by using really powerful words in your copy. This also applies to the hook. So if you're using words like only, new, now, revolutionary, limited availability, doable, fast, exclusive, those are words that in people's minds, they're like, I need to get this now. This is new, or this is something different. I've never seen this before, or this is something I can do. So those are very powerful words. And that applies to everything. That applies to your hook. That applies to like the actual content of what you're writing. And it increases the perceived value of what you're offering. All right. So now you want to increase the urgency. This is going to help make people actually go through with the purchase. And it doesn't mean creating a fake scenario. Like some people are like, oh, there's only 10 spots left. And they're just literally pulling that out of, their butt because they just want to make people buy. And then they're going to say it again next week after 10 people sign up. A good example would be actually playing on some kind of a demand that you really have in your business. For my course, I'm using this because I teach people copywriting. So I say, because these techniques will make a lot of money, I will have to continue coming up with new strategies as more people join. I can't just give out the same strategies to everyone because then they get overused and they're not effective. Therefore, the price doubles every 10 members who join. So that's a strategy I use because it's actually true. And so you can find lots of ways to increase the urgency of your product without like being salesy. You're just literally finding the value of your product and increasing it with, whatever is making it a more urgent sale. So you can create like a time, like you can say, this is a sale going on for 1 week. You can create those. That is a great marketing technique and it's super effective. You can also say, just by saying like never seen before, like if you're writing an email and you say, never seen before secret on how to lose 10 pounds, that by default creates urgency because people want to be like the first. So that's just like human psychology. You can get good at this a lot faster than you think. I only started copywriting 4 months ago. So the fact that I've made thousands of dollars with copywriting is pretty cool because a lot of skills you have to work at for years before you start to see profit. I saw a profit within the first 30 days. So one technique, and I'm not going to share all of them because I would be here all night, but one technique I use is 10-minute increments for like, I'll set a timer on my phone. I did this today, I did this yesterday, just to get started. I'm like, instead of procrastinating, I'll just be like, 10 minutes, I'm going to write for just 10 minutes. Because how hard is it to commit to something for 10 minutes? Like anybody can do that. So for 10 minutes, I'll just be like, I'm writing. And I will set my alarm, put my phone down, and I'll just start writing. And before I know it, the alarm goes off and I've done way more than I even intended on doing. And then I usually have to silence the alarm because I'm so into what I'm writing. So just set an alarm for 10 minutes, whatever it is, whether it's phone calls you got to make, whether it's posts you got to edit, whether you're writing an email, whatever it is. This applies to anything that you're procrastinating. It's like it could apply to cleaning. You just set an alarm for 10 minutes. It's such a low commitment level that it's really easy to get started on. And then you get into the flow and you usually keep going longer. But even if you don't, you got 10 minutes done. So, all right. So getting good at this. You want to rewrite emails, write practice emails, and test marketing for your own product. So I'm going to explain each of those. Rewriting emails. So when you get a marketing email in your email, take it, a good one, and rewrite it even better and do that a couple times. Then write practice emails. You could write a practice email for a random influencer, for a random brand that you love, for one of your own products. And then you actually want to test the marketing for your product. And you can do that for free or you can do that paid. I've done that paid on Facebook ads, but you can test marketing through emails. You can send, that's free. Send an email to a friend. You can test marketing through an Instagram post, an Instagram story, a Facebook story, Facebook post. You can actually like do a Google ad and like just throw $20 at it, do like 3 different ads. It's just such a good skill to develop and it's worth investing in because the only way you're going to become a good copywriter is to be a bad copywriter first. So finding clients, if you actually want to market this skill, this applies to you. Like if you actually want to just bring in a couple extra grand a month just writing emails or writing sales pages, this is how you do it. So there's two main ways. I use only one of these. So you network and add value. You never have to pitch somebody if you do it that way. Or you can cold DM, email people, call people, explain to them how you can help their brand and pitch your service that way. I do the first because I've created a network of people, and most people have a network of people. And for example, the other day, I just reached out to a couple entrepreneurs that I had interviewed on my podcast, and I said, hey, I've been doing copywriting for a little bit. I've written this, this, and this. And I'm looking to, expand with some new clients. Do you happen to know anybody that might have a need for copywriting services? I'm willing to write a couple emails and start off free and, work out something down the line. And a couple of them responded, yeah, like I'll put your name out there. One of them actually responded, hey, I actually need a copywriter. So just by asking people, hey, do you need a service, presenting how good your service is, you're not even directly asking them to buy your product, but they're just buying it because it sounds so good. So that's a strategy I love because you never have to pitch that way. You just create a network of people that are really cool, which I'll do a whole workshop on how to network because it's so easy and it opens every door for you because you don't ever have to sell. If you have a network of people, they just like sell for you. So that's crucial. Okay, so you build a network by adding value, taking every chance you can to get around successful people and putting yourself out there. And that could mean like going to conferences, that could mean just talking to strangers, that could mean going to networking dinners, that could mean going on school and connecting with people, that could mean emailing a family member and being like, hey, do you know any entrepreneurs in this field? That could mean talking to a boss. I've literally had like previous bosses that I worked for purchase my products. So there's literally no like wrong way to do it. You just keep connected with everyone you meet and you'll have a massive network. Okay, who you're looking for. If you want to market copywriting, you're looking for people that have some type of audience, whether it's they just have a business, so they have an audience of customers, or preferably like they have some kind of influence. They have a product they're already selling. You don't want to copyright for people that don't even have a product yet, because that's just gonna probably suck. So you spot the ways that they can improve. So let's say you're like looking at an Instagrammer's page and they just have a really great audience. Maybe they teach, let's say they teach how to run Facebook ads. And you're like, you know what? Well, actually, if they taught that, they probably like already pretty good at copywriting. Let's pick a different one. Let's go back to fitness. Let's say they're a fitness influencer and they have a course on like how to grow your glutes in 30 days. And you reach out to them, you're like, your captions, like you're not ever calling any, you have a link in your bio, but you're never telling people to click on it. Like I can write you really good captions and I'm convinced that I could add X amount of money to your monthly revenue. You'd want to find out how much they're making a month. And then you can confidently say like, I can double that. And if I don't pay me or pay me this percentage. There's a lot of ways, but you want them to need you. You want like, if you're copywriting for somebody, they should be reliant on your copy in order to make that amount of income. So let's say they're making 10K a month before you, and then you come in, they start making 25K a month. They need you now. Cause like you increased, you more than doubled 150% of what they were making the month before. So now they need you. All right. Why do businesses hire copywriters? I think it's pretty obvious at this point. It's a value trade-off. Business, you have to make the business more money than it costs them to employ you, obviously. So like the copywriting client that I'm meeting with next week, that's probably going to be like a $2,500 a month job to $3,500. It'll depend on how many emails they want. But the only way you can make $2,500 to $3,500 a month from copywriting is if you're bringing them in like 30K, 40K a month. Like if you're bringing them in a lot of money, or even if you're bringing them in 15 to 20K, like that's still a good value trade-off for them. So that's what you're charging based off of. Your job is to fix their conversions. All right, how much you can charge? It's a wrong question. The right question is how much money can you make them? Ted Carr is a great example of this. I'm going to show you guys a example. Let me see. This is an email that I received in February, at the end of February, and I bought $1,000 coaching program based on this one email. So the title was Patrice, Final Notice. Catches my attention. I've never done this before and may never do it again, but ... Okay, now I'm hooked. Like he properly hooked the audience with that. If you've ever wanted to work one-on-one with me, Ted Carr, this is your only chance. Okay. He's continuing with that hook to build intrigue. And this works because I knew who Ted Carr was. Like, he was someone on Instagram that I followed. For the next 30 days, I'm offering one-on-one direct private access to me to get you to $10,000 a month with your online coaching business. Building intrigue. How the heck is he going to do that? And I'm doing it at an incredibly affordable rate. He's knocking down the objections already. So the objection of how am I going to afford this course? Because I knew he charged over $10,000 for his courses. So he's already knocked down that objection of I don't have that kind of money to just throw out a course. Here's the catch. I'm only working with people I know I 100% can get results for. And if I do not think you will succeed, I will not take you on as a client. Okay. He's building trust with this. He's saying, I'm not just going to take your money and run. I'm only going to work with you if I believe I can help you. This affordable private one-on-one access is only for you if, again, affordable. He's knocking down objections there. You have a positive mental attitude, no negative Nancy's or Debbie Downers. You want to be a 10,000 a month coach. You're not afraid to show your face on camera and make content. Okay. So he's right here. He's reinforcing that he's not going to take everyone that applies into the course by saying, this is what I expect. And this is the only people that will be allowed in. Okay. So he's being super transparent. That's a tactic. Like, he is literally building the trust with the audience by telling the audience that some of them can't join his course. That makes them want it more. So human psychology right there. To get the best results, I want to give you as much of my attention as possible, and to make sure you see the biggest ROI of your life, I'm making it super affordable. Again, he says affordable. You'll most likely make your money back within the first week, like so many people already have. So he just made the email safe. He just made the offer safe because he said you're going to make your money back in the first week. Here's some of what you get when you join: unlimited direct voice message and DM access to me for 30 days for private coaching, private school community for mastermind members only, direct private one-on-one coaching. So then he just kind of lays out what you get. Okay. Making this mastermind very affordable. He says it again. 25 people have already signed up. He makes it feel safe again by letting you know that other people have already signed up. So it must be good if other people are buying it. Want to get one of the few remaining spots? Urgency. So he's using that tactic to make it seem urgent. Reply back to this email with the code 999 and let's hop on a private one-on-one Zoom call where you and I can discuss the details for 10 to 15 minutes before joining. Okay. This is the call to action. He just told you what to do with all that information. And he actually gives you the price. Total investment, $997 a month. And yes, you can do it for just 1 month. If you've ever wanted to work one-on-one with me, this is your chance. That's a really freaking good email. Like, that's really freaking good, to the point that I literally bought that program like on the spot. I got on a call and I bought it like on the call, and then I bought it again. So that's clearly a very good email. And I was not like, I didn't have money to blow. I just quit my job. So it was like a risk for me. Okay. So that's a great example there. I'm also going to give you guys some examples of good hooks, because we were just talking about hooks. So final letter. Some of these are hooks that I've used. Some of these are hooks that Ted actually shared with me that he's worked or he's used for his 20,000 person email list, which on average, I think he makes like close to $20,000 a month from that email, because it's usually like a $1 to person ratio. So if you have an email list of 10,000 people, that's like $10,000 a month if you're marketing to them properly. Good copy. Okay, so random, like, look at how like some of these emails, these titles, this is the subject line. Hey, not capitalized. The reason for that is because think about, like, if you saw that come in your inbox, you're gonna think that's from like a friend. Bad news, ... How are you not gonna click on that? Look at these screenshots. These are emails you're gonna be like, wait, what? Like, they stand out amongst all the other ones. So there's some great examples of how to hook an audience. Okay, this is an email I wrote that had a really, really good open rate. This is for the procrastination cure community, Carrie. So you're in that. You know what comes with this. Okay, so this is an email. Hey there, and this is just that inserts their name. What if I told you there's a way you could retire in the next 12 months? Okay, hooked. I'm interested. Tell me how I can retire in 12 months. Not someday, not in your golden years, but now. It's not just about age. It's about hitting that income sweet spot that changes everything. I just retired myself at 22 3 months ago. So now they're intrigued. But here's the kicker. It's not for everyone. Okay, being transparent. I was worse off than you, guaranteed. Broke, stuck, battling procrastination like it's a never-ending game, but I made a choice. I took a chance on myself. I invested $2,000 in a private mastermind, and I couldn't have imagined how things would change. Surrounded by millionaires, my mindset shifted, my productivity soared, and doors started opening. Okay, continuing to build the intrigue. They're like, what doors? What changed? Now, here's the part they don't tell you in those cheesy Instagram reels. It wasn't easy. It wasn't overnight, but damn, it was worth it. And guess what? You're already ahead of where I was. You're here reading this. You're curious. You're hungry. You're ready for more. That's a tactic right there where I'm reinforcing their identity as somebody that would read and click this link here. So here's a catch. We're only opening our doors to new members for 1 month to ensure the people we work with are truly ambitious. So now I'm increasing the urgency because it's a limited spot. So are you ready to take the leap? Click below to uncover the insider details and see if this opportunity is meant for you. Your future self is waiting. All right. So again, I'm using 2 tactics here. I'm incentivizing them to click the link, and I'm reinforcing their self-identity as somebody that would click the link by saying your future self is waiting. Let's do this. And then I sign my name. Still on the fence. Let me leave you with this. The only regret you'll have is not starting sooner. Cool. So that's an example of an email that I will probably reuse and like reformat and resend because it performed so well. The you're one decision away was the title or the subject of the email. And feel free to steal that. Okay, so we're back to here. So that was the last slide. The resources here. I can send this if either of you guys are interested. Swiped.co is an awesome website. I think I actually have it up. Yeah. It's literally just people take marketing emails, they take ads, and they just like break them down. So this is swiped.co. I'm going to copy that and put it in the Zoom chat because it's so cool. You can literally look at like some of the best copywriters in the world and like watch like how they write. I've like taken so many ideas from this. Now you don't want to copy it. The pun. You don't want to copy their copy because then it's not going to sound like you. And if you're just sounding like somebody else, there's no reason for people to buy from you and not that other person. Might work, but it won't build a brand. Okay, so the other resource, Facebook ads library. I'm just going to show you guys this. You can literally look up any person in the Facebook ads. I've looked up some like people I know in my network just to like see what they're doing.
I don't think any of them do. Do they run ads?
I don't think. Oh, Alex is running ads for school. And it's active. That's super interesting. I'm just gonna like geek out and like study these later. No, I don't think Goose runs ads. He's organic traffic. Yeah, it's such a cool resource.
Yeah.
You can literally look at this and be like, okay, this is actively running since May 21st. I mean, that's not that long. That's one day. Let's see if we can find one that's like older. If you find one that's from like February and it's active, then you know it's really freaking effective because they've been running and spending money on it for months. That's like a good thing to look for is like, how old is this ad? Wow, he has a lot of ads active. Holy cow. He's got the budget for it, so it makes sense. But yeah, so that's a great resource. The ad library. And then there's one other, it's a podcast. This is called the Copywriters Podcast. I'm not going to click on it because I think it might start playing. But if you guys want to listen to the Copywriters Podcast, they break down literally every kind of copy that you can imagine and how to like get better at copy. And there's a bunch of other podcasts on like YouTube and stuff if you want to learn how to like find clients and stuff. But it's actually ridiculously easy. If you wanted to make like $3,000 a month copywriting, you could do that with one client, or you could do that with 3, like depending on what kind of copy you're writing, but you could easily do that and just like literally spend like a couple hours a week writing emails for people. So that's why I'm excited about this, because like I didn't know it was a thing until recently, and then like my introduction to copywriting was me making money with it, because I didn't even know what it was until somebody asked me to write for them. But having a network of people, like for example Madeira, like your boss probably uses copywriting in her ads, or like she's going to as she scales. So like that's a great example, is you could like, I mean, you work for her, so you could be like, hey, for like this much more a month, I will write you like 2 emails a week or 3 emails a week. And that's something people pay a lot of money for. So you could easily charge like an extra $1,000 a month to write emails. It's crazy. But yeah, so that is it. I don't know if you guys, oh, Carrie just messaged me. Oh, you're back on. That's the wrap.
Yeah, I don't know why my my thing just kicked me out, and then all of a sudden, like, I heard you talking, but I had no picture, so I'm like,
Well, luckily the slides were,
sorry.
but yeah, that's a wrap on it. Do you guys have any questions? Was that helpful, Carrie?
Yeah, it was actually very helpful. Now I just gotta kind of like put it into action. But
Yeah.
again, like I'm not very good with, I don't even know. Like what did I call it the other day? I said wordsmith. I called one of the girls on the mastermind a wordsmith. I'm like, I'm not a very good wordsmith. So
Really,
it's
that.
just a matter of practicing. Like you said, you got to be bad at it before you can be good at it. So
Yeah. And honestly, I think it's an advantage to like not be like a natural like poet, because I thought I was good at writing and then I started writing copy, and like at first it was so bad because when you think you're good at writing, it probably just means you like enjoy writing about like certain things. And when you start writing copy, you're writing about things that like it's not about what interests you anymore. It's about what interests the customer. So you have to completely flip
yeah.
the script. And so regardless of like where you are with writing, this is a totally different language. So it actually
Okay.
it's probably an advantage to not have like this perception that like I'm a great writer, because you're going to be learning a new language anyway. So like you're starting from scratch. But like if you just like rewrote, like if let's say you're using this for school, right? You're building a community. Go on like
Okay.
when Goose posts something, go on like rewrite it and try and make it better. Try and rewrite what he writes in half the words. And like
Okay.
when people make a community post and it gets pinned, go and like read through those and like figure out why it got pinned. Did it get pinned just because of the content of what they were posting, or was it because of the way they wrote it? And then something I do is I go on the school games and I look at the winners, the top 10, and I go to their about page and I find the commonalities. And some of them are so different, there's literally nothing in common. So then you're just like having to figure out, okay, what is the strategy this person is using that's working for their brand? And what is the strategy this person's using that's totally different, and which one is closer to the brand that I want to create? And then just like reinvent the wheel, and or not reinvent the wheel, like repurpose it. It's the opposite of reinvent the wheel. Repurpose like what's working to your own community, and then like it'll evolve into your own thing, but like look for what works because there's consistent trends with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank
Yeah, you're gonna crush it because it's just like about finding your own voice and like what resonates with people. Madeira, I'm so jealous of that peanut butter. I like haven't eaten peanut butter out of a jar in so long.
I don't know why I was craving it.
Yeah, it's so good. I always used to get the crunchy peanut butter. That was my favorite.
We have that too, but for some reason this one tastes better. It's the same brand too. I don't even know.
Oh, interesting. The
The
best
creamy.
there is a peanut butter that we used to get. This is so off topic. I should probably pause this Zoom call.
This always happens.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's a wrap on copywriting, guys. We're gonna talk about peanut butter now.